Welcome, everybody, back to the Friar Talk podcast and YouTube channel. It is New Year's Eve, so happy New Year's Eve to everybody. We're going to put out a quick video today. Now, this is going to be the third season of AJ Preller grading his trades. This was one where there were not many trades made by him, only 4 trades today. So it's going to be a pretty quick video, but we're going to be going through. That's just kind of, unfortunately for this one, anyone kind of been going through hoping for the longer episodes that we've had on these. This is going to be the shorter one in terms of that. But I'll jump into it right now. I'll say all the 4 trades. Then Isaac, you can tell me what you think about these, and we'll give a grade, even though there's not much to grade in this one. So, first trade this year, Pedro Avila for Derrick Norris. Pedro Avila he's pitched so far 2 games in his career, 9 innings, 1.93 ERA, 1.3 WHIP, right? Not many stats. He is a guy that could potentially come up this year, especially if some guys go down in the bullpen. He could take a bullpen start or a bullpen spot, or be like a spot starter type guy. Maybe he opens a game. I don't know, but he's starting to get to the point of his career where he is going to be called up. And he's been in the Padres farm for a little bit now. Been a guy that's been talked about as a guy that can always be called up. So excited to see him finally be a part of the Padres organization. Look at Derrick Norris. He goes to Washington, never ended up playing for Washington. So I think you can give the Padres a plus on that one. The next trade for that offseason, this is the 2016 to 2017 offseason. Next trade, Maggie Diaz and Luis Torrens for Josh Van Meter and cash/player to be named later in a 3-team trade. Now, Maggie Diaz is definitely the big piece in this one so far with the Padres. 72 games, 108 innings pitched, 5.4 ERA, 1.4 WHIP. So solid. Luis Torrens. I mean, this is just one where it's just kind of like, all right, decent enough trade, not really much here. I guess the Padres get a little bit better piece on this one, but not by much on this one. Then you go to the season, and I am not going to say this right, but they acquire Matt, I think it's Skizzer, for a right-handed pitcher named Justin Hancock that was on the Cubs. Matt, I'm not going for the last name again, ends up posting in about 300 plate appearances for the Padres, 0.0 WAR. Hancock hasn't pitched in a long time, but he had a 1.46 ERA, 12 innings pitched in his career. So I don't know what it is. I didn't really follow his career much. However, he looked good for 12 innings. Didn't really get an opportunity after that. Maybe it's injury. Maybe he just called up and had a short opportunity and just kind of got overlooked after that. But did put up a little bit of numbers. So shout out for him because a lot of these guys, they get an opportunity in MLB, even if it's 12 innings pitched. A lot of times you see those numbers and it's like, oh yeah, that guy had a 15 ERA. This guy can go up and say, hey, I had a 1.4 ERA. So pretty sick for him, but also not some crazy deal for the Padres. Last trade, Travis Wood, Matt Strom, Esteury Ruiz. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I always mess this one up. From the Royals, and then the Padres gave up Trevor Cahill, Brandon Maurer, and Ryan Butcher. So going through this trade, Travis Wood, he pitched 52 innings in the second half of the year in 2017. Never played after that. Had a 6.7 ERA in that second half. Strom, surprisingly, actually has pretty good numbers with the Padres. 260 innings pitched, 4.1 WAR over his time in San Diego, 3.81 ERA, 1.2 WHIP, 273 strikeouts. So pretty solid numbers. Isaac, he just got DFA'd, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So Strom just got DFA'd, but he, the injury, I think, is the one that really hurt. Last year, he didn't look too good. But at the time, it looked like, hey, they probably got a pretty good piece in Strom. Probably not the case looking down the road, but he did put up some decent enough numbers in San Diego. And then Ruiz, he is in Double-A right now. Last year, he had 249, 739 OPS, 10 home runs, but he did have 36 stolen bases. So going to be a little bit more on the athlete side in terms of speed and stuff playing in the infield, but probably mid-tier prospect kind of guy. I think more likely to be a trade chip for the Padres at the deadline either this year or next year or in the offseason, than probably a guy that will ever come up and play meaningful games for the Padres. But still, pretty solid piece there. Cahill, he pitched for the Pirates last year. Since the trade, he's pitched a round of 300 innings and had a 5 ERA. So not losing much there. Brandon Maurer pitched 51 innings for the Royals and had a 7 ERA. Last played in 2018. So also nothing crazy there. And then Ryan Butcher, He pitched for the Diamondbacks last year. And if you actually look at his numbers since he was traded from the Padres, 3.16 ERA and 236 innings pitched and a 1 point, I forget what the whip was. And then over the last 2 years, he had a 1.8 whip and a 5 ERA. So the numbers look pretty good early on. Last 2 years doesn't look really that crazy. So Isaac, what are you feeling about these trades? Obviously not much in these ones, but what are your thoughts on these 4 trades?
Yeah, nothing crazy. I don't really feel like I got to get in depth on any of them. Obviously, Pedro Avila. I think he could be a potential bullpen piece. Nothing crazy. I don't remember any of his pitches being like plus pitches. So definitely a bullpen piece. Maybe if you need an arm for a start or two, he could be one of those. Derrick Norris never played for, I think it was Washington. So he was pretty much out of the league after us. So it doesn't really matter. Definitely plus on that trade. And then we got Maggie Diaz, Luis Torrens, and Josh Van Meter. Maggie Diaz, Jerry's kind of still – no, not Van Meter.
We traded
Van Meter Van Meter. Right. Okay, bet. So Jerry's kind of still out on Maggie Diaz. He's shown some potential to be a solid maybe, I don't know, long reliever. That's all I really think of him as. I don't think he's going to be a stud in out of the bullpen or as a starter, just kind of a meh kind of guy. Luis Torrens, I don't know his stats with the Padres, but with Seattle now ended up just being a trade piece. I don't really think we lost that trade. I think that was just a meh trade. Nothing happened. The other ones, let me go check them out real quick. Matt, whatever. No, I'm not going to try either. That's another just throwaway trade. Nothing really happened with either of those guys. That's kind of, been the theme with a lot of these trades. But this next one, Travis Wood and Matt Strom, Matt Strom ended up starting, I think it was in 2019. He was the 5th starter. I don't remember his stats or anything, but 2020, I believe he pitched a little bit. I believe he made a couple starts. I know he made 1 start against the Dodgers, but it was a bullpen game. And then 2021, he ended up coming back, didn't have the best numbers, but I actually thought he was a serviceable pitcher. Like, he wasn't a bad pitcher out of the bullpen. Just, he got injured here and there, and I believe it was his knee that he was having problems with. So, it's kind of just unfortunate, but didn't really give up anything crazy. Trevor Cahill pitched for the Pirates. That's where players' dreams go to die. Mauer, he was on the Royals. Nothing crazy, 7 ERA. And then Butcher, I guess you could say he was pretty good. It's just his past 2 seasons of 5 ERA, so he's looked pretty good otherwise.
I feel like Butcher's almost like the Strom case. Like, hey, they actually put up pretty solid numbers, but they're not really, like, with those teams, probably not going to do much moving forward. But then in that one, you got Ruiz. I think that's the big piece there. Like, that's the difference in that one. Cahill, Mauer for Travis Wood, I guess you can kind of call that a wash. But overall, you look at these trades, did the Padres give up anything that they're, like, hurting about? No, because in this one, they add Torrens, they add Maggie Diaz, they add Ruiz, they add Strom, and they add Avila. So I think that's, like, the big pieces. I would say the 2 guys that are the additions for the Padres, because I'm not really going to count anyone as, like, a loss on this one. I didn't feel like that for any of these guys. Avila, Diaz, and Ruiz now. So kind of just waiting to see what do those guys look like. I think we've seen a little bit. So for this season and a half, I guess I'll give them a C+. There's not much here. But it's fine because, like, you look at some of these trades, and we looked at the last one. Padres go out and they make a bunch of these, like, small trades, and then one of them's Fernando Tatis. This year, only make 4 trades, pick up a couple middle tier guys that maybe are going to make a difference in a couple games, but not much from us on this one. But Isaac, anything else you want to add before we take off?
Yeah, I didn't give a grade. I'll give him a B just because you didn't lose anyone, and you're also, have 2 or 3 potential difference makers.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, have a happy New Year. Hope you have a great time. Tomorrow, we're going to drop our top 10 third base list. But yeah, that's going to do it. So not much for this trade. We're going to finish these series up here in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll hopefully start getting some more Padres rumors, more Padres stuff about the offseason coming out, because not much yet. Waiting for the lockout. Hopefully that's soon. But that's going to do it for us today. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys very soon.